Page 225, numbers 7 through 12. The rabbit population in a certain area is 200% of last year's population. There are 1,100 rabbits this year. How many were there last year? The book has set up part of the proportion for us. They have taken information from the problem, the 1,100 rabbits this year, and they have put those on top, and they have rabbits last year represented by a variable W. That was just a random choice for W. What they don't have is the percent written in over here. Whenever you have a percentage problem and you set up a proportion, one side has to represent the percentage. So over here, what we're going to do, we know that percent always has 100 as the denominator. The number that goes on top is always the number that precedes the percent sign. So we know that whatever this number is here is going to be less than this number on top, because the corresponding placement across from the W, the 100 is less than the 200. So the top numbers are going to be larger than the bottom numbers. To solve this, I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply the values that are diagonally opposite each other. So I'm going to have 200W is equal to the value of 1,100 times 100. I know that 1,100 times 100 is simply this number times 100, which means I'm going to multiply by 1 this number, 1,100, and then I'm going to add the 2 zeros, because when I multiply by 100, that's what happens. So now I have 200W is equal to 110,000. Now I want to get this W all by itself on the left-hand side of the equation. And one way I can do that is to divide both sides by the number that's in front of the W, because this means 200 times W. And to undo a multiplication process, I use division. And I am going to divide by 200, because 200 divided by 200 is equal to 1. And then I only have one W on the left-hand side. But if I divide by 200 on this side, I have to divide by 200 on this side. So I can cancel out my zeros, because I have 2 zeros on the bottom and 2 zeros on the top. And so now I'm left with 1,100 divided by 2. When I use my calculator to do that, I could do that mentally actually, but just to double check, 1,100 divided by 2, I can see that I have an answer of 550. So 1W, or W, is equal to 550. So there were 550 rabbits last year. And when I look back at my proportion that I set up, that makes sense, because 1,100 is a large number, it's on top. 550 is a smaller number, it would go on the bottom. 200 is larger than 100. As a matter of fact, 200 is twice 100. And when I look at 550, if I multiply 550 times 2, I will get 1,100. So last year there were 550 rabbits.